you're fine.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome to the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors meeting this May 9th, 2023. Do we have any changes to the tentative agenda?
I have none.
Meet with department heads and elected officials. Krista Poggemiller, Health Department.
Good morning. We continue to be busy. The public health emergency ends May 11th, but I want to remind the public, we are still giving vaccine, the bivalent COVID vaccine at no charge, and we do that on Thursdays from 8:30 to 4. Also, we still have Test Iowa test kits. If anyone wants to come in and get a test kit, they can get that at our office anytime during our hours, which is 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday.
Thank you much. Rodney Bleasner, Maintenance.
Good morning. Staying busy. The Buckwheat Company started on the roof project out of the jail. So they brought all the supplies in last Thursday, started on a Monday morning. So it's kind of expected to take, at least 4 to 5 weeks. Some of it's obviously weather depending, but it was just out there a little bit ago. So they're working away at it. It's coming along, but it's going to take some time. I have nothing new to report.
Let's do Ken Hyman, Seal Region.
Morning. Tomorrow is our SEAL meetings, and so the governing board will be meeting tomorrow afternoon for the SEAL region, and some of the agenda includes claims, and they're gonna talk about the new region name change, so I haven't heard what that's gonna be yet. I'm very anxious to hear what our new region will be called once the merger happens, which is, we're hoping for July 1 still. We have 11 contracts to go through, so over half of the contracts will be in this month's meeting. And we have an exception to policy request, and there's an agenda item called prep for the second joint meeting, which is May 17th. So South Central Behavioral Health and SEAL governing boards will be meeting for a second time as we get ready for this big merger, hopefully on July 1. So May 17th is our second meeting with the two governing boards. So I guess that's it for now.
We'll find out what's coming up next come July.
Yeah.
Okay. Natalie Stephaner, Recorder.
Good morning. Nothing new to report this week.
Okay. Colin Gerst, IT.
Just keep busy like always, nothing really new to report.
Chris Lee, Conservation.
Good morning. Let's see, we had our first full weekend at the Big Hollow, where we ran out of campsites. So we had dragon boats up there this weekend, that went great. That's a lot of people in the park, but kudos to the schools that put that on. I talked to several people that were down there and they said that was running really well. I'm impressed at how well people were parking themselves, because that's a lot of cars to squeeze in that park, and so that went really good. We're happy to have them there. And so great weather for the event on Sunday there. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better beach day, I guess, in early May like this. So so that was great. We weathered the storms pretty good. Near as I can tell, we didn't have any real major damage anywhere in any of our parks. We haven't got out to all the trails yet, but we're kind of waiting for some of them to dry up. We are chasing some water pressure issues at Big Hollow. We think we may have an issue with the water line. We're trying to track that down. We got some plumbers up there now. I'm heading up there as soon as I leave here to go help them with that. And then we did get another $25,000 donated to the Big Hollow Improvement Project from the Whitty Foundation. And so I want to thank them for that.
Who?
Whitty. So I think that's it for now.
All right, Lee Foundation, good deal. Zach James, Land Use.
Yeah, good morning. Things are going pretty well. Got an agenda item here for a subdivision today. And then we're gonna plan on a work session again next week for wind and solar ordinance. Got a couple of last things we gotta touch up on that. And then otherwise, yeah, just kinda staying busy. Got floodplain permit, a couple subdivision things in the works, just little things like that, but everything's going pretty smooth.
Thank you, Batman. Brian Carter, engineer.
Good morning. Plenty of stuff going on. Not too much damage. I had one tree across the road from the wind. Did talk to one family that actually did see a tornado up towards the Oakville area. So obviously it never touched the ground, never heard of any damage from it, but they went to the basement and did what you're supposed to do, I guess. So there was some pretty strong gusts of wind, some hail, stuff like that, but otherwise came through it all right. Good blading weather now, so the guys are out blading and doing culverts and Bridgeport. We're hoping to have the contractor in to do some seeding here in the next day or two, hopefully paint the lines on Thursday and open it up. So I'm hoping Thursday or at least by the end of the week for sure. Sounds like rain on Friday, so if I can get here and get those lines painted Thursday, that'd be good timing, get that opened up. And I've got a tour on today, so if you guys are available, I thought I'd run you down there so you can get a look at it. Other than that, we're still, 99's still open and still waiting, haven't heard from the contractor, so it's kinda heading the way I'm assuming it's gonna head, which is not starting right away, which is okay. Let the river come back down and everything else. I think, our countywide dust control is coming up here in a couple weeks. It's, not yet, but it is approaching. Guys are getting a lot of rocking done and there's plenty of stuff going on. We did have an interesting deal. We did a pinch project last year. It was kind of on a road near Burlington is what I'll refer to it as, and I had a lady that lives on it. It's only got a couple people that live there, but it does have a fair amount of traffic.
Where's this one at?
Just on the south edge of Burlington, kind of over towards the hospital, at the gravel end of West Avenue. But, and she called me and she's had like 13 flat tires. She's the only one that's called with flat tires. I mean, in all seriousness, for all the people that use that as a cut around into the hospital and all that, she is the only one that's called about flat tires.
Same tire?
I don't know, and she said it, obviously it got worse after we did our pinch, like you guys know what that is, and so we actually, not that we can do a lot about that, but we reached out to some neighboring counties. Somebody has a nice magnet or a bigger magnet, so we actually borrowed that and we're blading that road up and we're gonna run that magnet over it thoroughly today and try to pick up as much debris as we did. We did it yesterday without having bladed it and picked up 6 or 7 nails, which seems like a lot, but I'm guessing you could pick up nails and stuff like that across most roads if you had to. So that's just kind of a different dynamic. You do bring in the shoulders and stuff. You know you bring stuff in. That's just the nature of a gravel road. But that's a first, I'd say. And she was pretty frustrated. I know she called the auditor's office. I've been playing phone tag with her. She called. I spoke to her. And I tried calling her like a half dozen times since and never could get through. I have spoken to her finally within the last, actually, I think I spoke to her yesterday to give her an update. So I don't know if we'll get her problems fully remedied. Might be some tire issues there, but
You're going above and beyond, that's all you can ask for.
but it was just kind of a different dynamic and we're doing what we can to hopefully help the situation and we'll see where it goes. But other than that, no, things are going good. I will give you guys a heads up. Jim might hear about it more from the Danville side of things, but down in that Sycamore Road, kind of unofficial detour, I'll call it, area where Bridgeport closed and all the traffic kicked over to the next road on gravel. We're disking down there. We disked last week. We're disking actually, I believe, again today. And there's gonna be a fairly small window between dust control and this, so we're gonna slip into those. There's probably 3 miles roughly, 3 to 4 miles of road down in there area. If you guys go down with me, I'll probably show it to you. And we're gonna go ahead and do kind of maybe not a full pinch, but a partial pinch down there and hit it hard with the new layer of rock and recrown it and stuff. the traffic beat up the roads pretty bad, at least particularly Sycamore. When you think about a low volume gravel road all of a sudden taking on probably 80% of the paved traffic at one point, if I had to guess. It took a beating. The guys kept it passable. I give a lot of credit to them. We threw a lot of 1.5 or 2-inch rock at it to keep it passable. So we're gonna do that, which is kind of abnormal for this time of year, but we wanna get it shaped up before they put on the dust control in front of people's houses. So anyway, like I said, if you go down with me, I'll show you that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on, working on plans, working on permitting. The environmental permit process has gotten exponentially worse than it used to be, which is saying something, because it was never good. So that's not a good direction for things to be going. But anyway, other than that, and we never did close Tamer Road. I guess I should mention that. We never got a single complaint. I think people were more than happy to drive through a little bit of and keep it. It was stagnant, it was not flowing across the road. I wanna be clear on that. They were more than happy to slow down and drive through some water on the edge rather than having the road closed. So we did keep it open, and I think the water's now receding, so that's a good thing.
Well, I didn't receive any, technically, I don't consider somebody sending me a message on Facebook as correspondence, but I do want to give you a couple of touches for somebody saying, "Thanks, Shane, for getting my road done." I said, "You're welcome." Glad I could be of assistance, friend. So anyway, you got 2 of those amens. Just want to let the guys know. You're not just getting cussed. Some people are saying thank you. So you got 2 of those.
The guys get all the credit in the world for that. That's their job, and they do a good job at it.
I thought you were gonna say I deserve all the credit in the world for that, but anyways, we'll,
And you get a lot of it too.
thank you, Brian. It's like you tell us, like, I didn't do anything, but feel free to thank me, man. Okay, Sheriff Kevin Glendenning.
Hi, good morning. I was picturing you in a road grader, and I was just.
Tearing stuff up.
Was that a nightmare? Or was that-
He's costing the taxpayer.
Let's see, we graduated our youth academy last Wednesday. That went really well, a program we enjoy, but congratulations to them, those area youth for that commitment. Let's see, on Saturday, we had a lost child that it was just kind of a fluke deal. It was one of our rural county citizens that was doing some work in a remote pasture, putting some corral panels away, and his child followed the dog into the timber, and it's a really thick section of timber. So of course, the family got to looking really quickly, and that didn't work out, so we called in all of our deputies, and there's a call for the community to help local people that know them. So had a really good showing of local folks that came up and helped, and it was several hours, but we ended up finding him. And he covered quite a bit of ground, and it was very interesting. 2 of our deputies that were there that found him, they came across him and said, "Hey, what's going on? How are you?" And he says, "Well, what are you guys doing out here?" So
A legitimate question.
Yeah.
Private property. It's private property.
Yeah. And
What
they
do
said,
you
"Well,
guys
we're
do?"
looking for you," and he says, "Well, I'm going home." And, home's this way, bud. So I had Dad with me, and by the time we got up there, he was still running circles, and he was several hours into his hike, and he was doing really well. So,
How old was this kid?
5. So we had a real positive outcome on that. Of course, it was quite the scare for everybody in the family. But thank you to the responding first responders. We had deputies, Mediapolis Ambulance, Mediapolis Fire that responded, and as well as the community. So appreciate all that. Also, we had MedForce up. They flew their helicopter over, and we had a gentleman bring his drone. Has a drone that has infrared on it that we gave that a shot too. But it ended well, so we're very pleased with that. Other news: our jail population's up. We're up to 82. Not a terrible situation, very manageable within kind of the planned budget. 6 out of county, 1 juvenile out of county, and then we have 2 waiting on the halfway house, 2 waiting to go to prison, and we currently have 3. We usually don't have this many, but we have 3 in custody that we're waiting on extradition. to be sent out of state. They have out of state charges that we're just waiting for them to conclude what they have going on here and be picked up by the departments that are out of state that have those charges. That's about all I've got.
All right, I'm glad we got some good news, more good news today. You found that 5-year-old kid. Sarah Marie, County Auditor.
Good morning. So Shane had brought it to our attention a couple weeks ago that Community Action was in need of food. So the staff in my office and I decided to put a little food drive together with our own personal funds. We're gonna open that up for the whole month if anybody would like to drop anything off for us to take there at the end of the month. We're doing packaged meats, fruits, soups, or any box food. So if anybody would like to drop anything off at the office, we'll get it down there at the end of the month.
Thank you, I appreciate that, and they call those kid-friendly meals, stuff that they don't need parents around, that they can kind of, throw it in the microwave or just eat it, right out of the box. So with school getting ready to get out, that's one of the big issues over the summer, and I had a meeting with CP. I appreciate that meeting, you taking out the time for me this week. But we just want to try to get ahead of that and address it a little bit. Some kids, what'll happen is during the summer, because they don't have any food, they're used to getting that meal, they'll break into something just to get something to eat. And we want to keep a divider between people that are trying to get into trouble and people that are just hungry. So some people in the community are trying to make sure that we address those needs, and that's part of one of the ways we're addressing it. So I definitely appreciate you, Sarah Marie. Thank you.
No problem.
Is that all you
Send
got?
something out, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put something out and then, so I decided to bring it up in here too, and then that way, if anyone wants to drop anything off, it's available. I might put a little box up out there or something to the side also, so.
Yeah, and I'm even gonna take care of delivery, so, I have to worry, is the county paying for delivery? I'm gonna take care of that, friends, free of charge. All right, so just bring it on in. You good?
Good.
Now brings us to correspondence. I have 2 correspondence. One is from the Capitol Theater. We at the Capitol wanted to take this opportunity to update you on our progress with the Dream Behind the Curtain fundraising campaign as we set our sights on the finish line. First and foremost, thank you to those who have already contributed a pledge to contribute toward our $2.5 million goal to renovate the Annex building and create a revolutionary performing arts center. It is because of you that we are making great strides toward our future goals. We appreciate your generosity in this exciting project, and we are humbled by the support we're receiving from our community. I'm not gonna read through all of this, and I can, if you want a copy of this, the table, you can see this. To date, they've raised $1,300,000. They are grateful for the support. They still have between $750,000 and $1 million left to raise for those that want to be a part of this. It says, in appreciation for your contribution, your name will be added to our new donor recognition wall, and you'll be invited to join us for a pre-opening celebration and our nightcap listening lounge prior to the grand opening for the public. I think Broker and Bob are going to be doing the music that night. It says this is a small.
I always sing Bob plays.
Tom sings, Bob plays, of course. This is a small token of our great appreciation for your contribution. We could not be where we are without your support. It takes a village to get stuff done. But anyways, that's from Timmy McCoy, the executive director. And then we've got another one, and I'm just gonna kind of zip through this a little bit. But this is from the Department of the Army. It's, the subject is Supplement Environmental Assessment under the National Environmental Policy Act and Historic Preservation Act, Section 106. Consultation for the proposed future artillery complex at Iowa Army Ammunition Plant. I bet you're asking yourself right now, what does that mean? So anyways, dear Mr. Broker, the Iowa Army Ammunition Plant is gathering information to assist with preparation of a supplemental environment assessment, SEA, of the potential environmental and socioeconomic impacts associated with the construction and operation of the above referenced project in accordance with the National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA, NEPA. IAAP identified 4 siting alternatives based on an established screening criteria. One is the melt line. Anybody that's familiar with these, I'm sure would know after I read these, but I'm gonna go ahead and read them so that you can have it for your, if you wanna write these down. Further analysis of these sites alternatives, as well as constructing the proposed FAC adjacent to the current line, is the 3A melt pouring line, or the LAP facility, resulted in these that's the one where you gotta wear the gloves on stuff, and if you work there too long, your fingernails turn orange. I don't know what's up with that. But they're gonna do something there and a couple other spots that they're doing. It says for your timely response will assist us in incorporating your concerns into project planning, and for that purpose, we request that you respond with any comments within 30 days. So they're including anybody to include comments on that. Thomas, it came to you. Do you wanna comment on that as well?
I don't have much input on where they locate an artillery facility.
Oh, you heard it first. All right. James, you got anything to say on that?
Government's gonna do what they want to, whether we care or not.
All right. Let's move right on into discussion and vote. First on the agenda is 5A, it's a resolution approving allocation of funds for the American Rescue Plan Act. What was brought up, Thomas, you wanna bring us up why we came to this?
The federal government is talking about clawing back American Rescue Plan funds that have not been, originally said not spent. I haven't ever seen anything different. I can't help but think they mean allocated. And whether they do or not, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Anyway, so I wanna make sure we were on record of having things allocated, so we have a list of projects there and an amount allocated toward them. And importantly, these projects are already underway. So some of them had some expenditures for engineering or whatever. Some of them are complete, and all the way through that. Anyway, so this just solidifies that. So we have a list. This is these funds are allocated for this particular project, and it is underway. Funds have been expended, and design, development, or construction, or implementation has happened. So,
I'll go ahead and read these for you, for the public, and basically it was to make sure that we had this, so that they couldn't come back and get some of our money for things that we already had planned.
essentially, yes.
It says, whereas on March 11, 2021, President Biden signed the $109 trillion American Rescue Plan Act, whereas Des Moines County applied for and will receive $7,568,844 in total. Whereas the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors have reviewed county projects and requests and determined the funds will be used entirely on county projects with one exception. Whereas, based on the distribution guidelines with the U.S. Department of Treasury, the following projects have been approved for the use of said funds. Digitization of books and documents of the auditor and recorder's office to electronic images, transfer books, supervisor's minutes, surveyor's notes, deed books, mortgage books, microfilm deeds, grantor, grantee books, and plat books. Health Department building, including purchase of property and construction, phone system for county offices, the Sheriff's RMS CAD system, Danville Telecom to expand broadband into unserved areas of Des Moines County, FR 11 bridge replacement, Upper Flint Road, and H 14 bridge replacement, Des Moines County Highway 99. Be it resolved that Des Moines County Board of Supervisors endorses the disbursement of American Rescue Plan Act funds for the items listed and authorized for the auditor to make these payments as they are presented, passed and adopted this 9th day, May 23rd.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yeah, yes. Okay, we have something different. All right, so they're not stealing our money.
No. That yes I give was a great big yes, like Simon Cowell gives on that American's Got Talent.
What's that? What'd you say? America's Got Talent. Bob was on
I
there?
said, no, I said, that's a great big yes, like Simon said.
Brings us to 5B, which is Resolution 2023-2024, the final plat for the Shea subdivision. Says whereas the final plat for the Shea subdivision has been reviewed for conformance to applicable county standards by the Des Moines County Auditor, Health Department, Secondary Roads Department, and Land Use Department, has been duly recommended by the aforementioned entities for approval. Zach James, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so we received final plat for a minor subdivision from Michael Shea, 13869 151st Avenue in Burlington, Iowa, requesting final plat for Shea subdivision. It's located in Blunt River Township. So one lot totaling approximately 1.33 acres. Currently, it's a 5-acre residential parcel. It's got a single-family home and a large wooded area. Basically, it's kind of split off, kind of a northeast section of the property. To put up a private shop and, I guess, I'll call it barn dominium shop, something like that, so shop / house. Potentially added in the future. Really, no comments received, during the review, other than one from Brian about no new driveways being added. That's addressed on the plat. They show, easement for a shared driveway. With the existing entrance that's on the property, so we've got all the sign-off sheets, everything looks good, so we recommend approval.
Recommend approval, resolution 2023-024.
Second.
Moved and second. Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes.
Well, everybody out there looks so relaxed today. Outside of Bob up there. He's got something up his sleeve when he sits there with that grin.
Just sign the deals afterwards. That's all right with you. Next we have is 5C. I just got these wrapped here, gonna put them in here, we'll have everyone go, expect me just sign those afterwards. Next we've got 5C, it's a contract for the Fourth Amendment to the Systems of Care Mental Health Wrap Around Contract. This is the Fourth Amendment to the Systems of Care Health Wrap Around Contract. Section 1 is amendment to the contract language. This next section is a revision, which is to the contract duration. The second revision is section 1341 for the pricing and the pricing structure, which is to be amended to $75,000. And then revision 3 is the payment table. Ken, you want to talk about this?
Well, our Seal region has children's services, and Tammy Gilliland is the children's coordinator. So I don't actually sit on the DCAP board, but I wonder, I think Jim does, right?
No, that's me.
Or, oh, that's you.
Shane.
Okay. Did, I think maybe Patty is now on the DCAP board too. I'm not sure. Patty Brooks from my office. But anyways, I was told that once these get signed to bring them to Patty, and I'm sure they'll get back to Tammy and Patty, who are on that DCAP board. But I really don't have much else to add other than they provide children's services using DCAT funds. So I don't know. I haven't seen the document itself myself, but yeah.
I'm aware that something was going on with that. Motion to approve.
Second.
Move to second. Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes.
Ken, for those of us who don't know what's decant.
Decategorization.
There you go. Decategorization, and it's, they have a grant kind of system, so they have a board and everything. Shane sits in for his mom.
Okay, next we're on 5D, personnel actions. We have two for the Conservation Department. The first one is for Grant Swanson. He's a conservation intern. He's a new hire at $15 per hour effective May 15th, 2023. And then the second is Trenton Gephardt, conservation intern. He's a new hire, starting at $16 an hour, effective date May 15th, 2023.
They're both new hires?
Trenton's,
Interns.
This is his third time back.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
Verify that dollar difference.
Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. The next two we have is for for the Correctional Center, and we have three. The first one is for Kendra Whalen. She's a kitchen cook at the Correctional Center, and she's turned in her resignation effective May 14th, 2023. Thank you for your service. Then we have Tanner Whalen. Okay, now we have Tanner Whalen, resignation from the Correctional Center. His resignation as correctional officer and rehired in the kitchen as a cook. So we're retaining services there. Previous rate was $41,362.40. New rate is $14.12 per hour. And then the third one is Colton Whalen. All right, we've got the family. Okay, so that's a resignation for Colton, effective May 14th, 2023.
Motion to approve all three.
Second.
Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yeah. Next, we have reports. We have the Veterans Affairs Monthly Report for April 2023, and then we have the Recorder's Reports of fees collected for April 2023. They will be on file at the Auditor's Office, and you can view them at your leisure. And last but not least, we have minutes for the regular meeting on May 2nd, 2023. Get a motion to approve minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved in second, Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. Okay. Do we have any other business?
I have none.
I have none.
Future agenda items?
Good. Work station with regional planning for
Wind and solar.
wind and solar. Yeah.
Committee reports? What's up, Dave?
I met with the city and rural representatives to discuss emergency medical service funding. and explain this board's support for Code 357F and that funding being at the district level. I think that'll work very well. I think that's that's exactly what that was written for. Especially since you have to have a 60% vote, so the people that it affects are more likely to support it than the people that are paying for it.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
I, had an executive board meeting with Mike out of regional planning yesterday. He was, college being closed, we didn't know about, who's gonna sit or replace the Wesleyan College on the board, so kinda went over that, so that's still kind of up, what do we do, we'll bring that to the full board.
I have community action, we're doing, executive board, reevaluation, I can't remember if I covered that or not. I had a DCAT board meeting, and we've got, I can't remember which one is coming up, but I've got a list, I'll have to give you that, but we've got a bunch of, deals coming up this summer where people can be a part of, and we're sending out information to the schools, because we definitely want them to be a part of it. And I had a workforce development board, and it's just about, how there's a realignment going on, and some people are trying to bail out of the Title I funding. We've got a whole region that's bailing out of the Title I funding, so just a lot of kind of things up in the air, and now we have they're changing it now, so they're taking the power, the power's drifting away from the local workforce development board. It's really kind of gonna be in the hands of the state is what's coming, so the governor will be making the call, and that's not locked in, but it definitely, we can feel the power being pulled away, so that's kind of some of the things that we're dealing with the workforce development boards, trying to make sure that we keep a little bit more autonomy, so we can decide what the heck happens around here. That's,
Shane, that's what happened when they started making this, our region here, go up north, to Scott County and West King County and Clinton County, and it hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna get
It's hurt.
things too murky, but if they start combining different regions and things like that, and then all the money is handled through the state, somebody's gonna get it. Somebody's gonna take it, and I'll leave it at that. But when you don't control, how you handle your business, and then they just put everything in a big conglomeration bag, and the state does it for you, it's not going to be the way we're used to doing things and how we're used to handling things. I'll leave it at that. So, alrighty then. So now it brings us to the time where we're going to have public input. We would love to hear from you. So if there's somebody here from the public that has a comment or a statement, or if there's somebody that is watching online, one of our many supporters that watch online, all 5 of you, bless your hearts. And thank you, Mrs. Broker, for always being one of the ones. So you can call in right now. You can email us at board@dmcounty.com. Again, that is board@dmcounty.com. You can email us. Or you can call right now at 319-753-8203, extension 4. Again, that number is 319-753-8203, extension 4. We'd love to hear from you. And if there's somebody here from the public, okay, you just here for eye candy? Alrighty then. It's good to see Mr. Dingman here. He's just here passing out 8x10 glossies. So while we're waiting, Thomas, tell us something interesting.
I think we got somebody from the public here that.
Bob has something to say interesting.
I'll add Brian probably has better information on this, but we expect over the next 2 months, several changes on 61 North between Sunnyside and 210th, right about at the gypsum plant. So just be aware of that. My concern is people have gotten pretty used to kind of going across the one lane of traffic and not expecting traffic on the other set of lanes, but that will be changing. Just be very aware there's gonna be some traffic pattern changes, and my understanding is by Memorial Day, they're hoping to have the other side of Flint Creek Bridge open, and then potentially by the 4th of July, have everything open up to July 4th. That's unofficial from the DOT, but that's the understanding that I was given.
That was really a pain in the butt to drive on for a while. In the last few months, you'd go up there and it would change regularly, and they'd have all those orange cones, and you didn't know exactly where it was going, and you couldn't always tell from the cones.
and people have gotten a little bit impatient, there's no passing through out there, and
Yeah.
they get behind somebody that's driving the speed limit or 45, and they're not very patient with that. But
Well, I got a little story to tell you about. Saturday morning, I was in a golf tournament out there with Rodney and them out at the golf course. Well, I come across Lower Flint, and I pulled up that stop sign, and there wasn't anybody coming that way. Well, I pulled out, and I pulled up in front of the guy, I damn near got hit. Last time I was on that, I don't know how long it's been, probably 4 or 5 months. They was coming the other way too. And, be very careful there.
yeah, everybody's gotten really used to that other lane being shut down that drives that regularly.
Yeah.
So they're not looking for the stop sign, they're in the zone, and it's gonna take some getting used to, and
My,
hopefully we can get there safely.
son from down at Edwardsville was behind me, and before he hit that little bridge, he called me up and wanted to know if he'd take my license away from me.
Jim, how old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
Who, me? 39?
He'll be 40 next month. Everybody in Wayne County knows that. Chris Lee.
So just some clarification on the ARPA resolution today. So does that fully allocate the ARPA funds and supersede the previous resolutions that were passed? Is that all of it?
Yep.
Yep.
So the donation to the playground in Burlington?
That did not come out of ARPA,
Okay, so that's just out of different funds, and then same
out
thing for
of
the.
economic development.
Okay, and then same thing for the capital theater.
Yep.
Yeah, we already got the check too.
Okay.
What'd you say?
So we already got the check.
Can we, talk a little bit about the public health building, cause, I think there's some questions as far as the time.
I would have, and I know Bob's been interested in that, if I would have had your phone number, I would have called you, because I looked for it.
Okay.
But, we had or unless you wanted to talk about it.
Well, go ahead.
Matter of fact, I mentioned you, we had a meeting a week and a half ago, whenever it was, and went over the floor plan's pretty much set. The elevations are pretty much set. They have finishes, indoor and outdoor, you know, what type of siding, what type of, ceiling, floors, you know, and they had colors and actual materials that, you know, for us to look through and, express our personal tastes. But, and so I told him, I said, I need a picture that we can release to the public for, of like an elevation or something like that, so people have an idea of what it looks like. They told me they would get that. The stage we're at right now is, everything's pretty much set after we've talked about and agreed on the materials. Carly Nelson will run through it one more time with those materials and figure out whether we're still in budget or whether we need to look at some of those materials. But everything else is pretty much set, so that, they told me they would have that shortly, so I truly expect it this week that I will get something. If you will, after the meeting, if you will come up and give me your cell phone number and your email, I will be sure that you get that.
Thank you.
Anyway, so, because I was gonna call you and tell you that it was on the way, but I didn't know how fast. Did you want anything to add to that?
No, thank you for addressing that. He had questions for me and I didn't quite know how to answer all of them, so thank you.
Well, it was, fortunately, Krista was there to talk about the colors and the materials. We told Brian not to even show up.
And I didn't
Rodney-
mind.
And I did.
And Rodney and I weren't much help at all. But, so yeah, we're looking forward to that. So then if this would be, still in budget, they would start on, bid drawings. So we could, you know, it could go out to bids midsummer maybe, and then looking at a year completion. So right now, I would say, late summer, fall of 2024, we're hopeful for completion. Did I say anything that you didn't understand that Am I right, Krista?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it sounds perfect. I
Yeah,
think,
that-
you know, we've taken the time to make sure that it's gonna meet the community needs, and we all know that, you know, as things come along, like the pandemic, we wanna make sure that we're prepared for the future. So, yeah, really taking the time and making sure that it's gonna be a good fit for the community.
They had some amazing construction materials that would be new that I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
So it's, I thought that was kinda neat.
It was some really good ideas that they had. I think that definitely, I agree, that the wood siding, which isn't wood, yeah,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
Krista rained on their first color scheme, which I didn't care for either. I thought it was just me.
Thank you. All pink.
Well, I think our 2 minutes are up. So we appreciate everybody watching. You're more than welcome to send us an email at any time. We'd be glad to deal with that for you. With an eye, we're adjourned.
Bye.
You know, it must have got more interesting with the 7 people in the house.
Wow, it jumped from 5 to
Don't
7.
ever like to take time
Gloria, you
frames
have a good
because
week.
it's, you know, I don't really know what construction time frames look like to me.
Okay.
The day we start